The first rays of light stretched across the green forests of Violia, spilling over the human research camp like golden silk. Lieutenant Marcus Hale adjusted the straps of his backpack and surveyed the small settlement. Tents and modular habitats had been set up carefully among the trees, blending human technology with the natural beauty of the planet. The air smelled fresh, with hints of exotic flowers Marcus had never encountered before. He breathed it in, feeling proud and nervous all at once. This planet had potential, but it was uncharted and fragile. Humanity was stepping into something enormous, something they might not yet understand. Leela Hale, his 10-year-old daughter, ran ahead along the narrow trail that led toward the forest's edge. Her small boots kicked up dust and leaves as she ran, laughter spilling from her lips. She had inherited her father's curiosity and her mother's sense of adventure, a dangerous combination on a planet that was still a mystery. Marcus called after her, but she only waved. "Be careful, Leela," he shouted, but the words were swallowed by the trees. The girl disappeared among the towering trunks and glowing plants. Marcus sighed and glanced at the research team gathered nearby. They were checking instruments, taking soil samples, and scanning the surroundings with drones. Everyone seemed confident, but Marcus knew better. The forest was alive in ways they couldn't measure yet, and there were signs that intelligent life existed on Violia, though no one had seen it directly. Leela wandered through the forest with a sense of wonder. Birds with bright, crystalline feathers flew above her, and small creatures with shimmering scales peeked from the underbrush. The forest seemed to hum, almost as if it recognized her presence. She followed a trail of soft, glowing moss that led her to an unexpected sight, an enormous city hidden in a valley, covered by trees and mist. Buildings made of living crystal and organic metal glimmered in the sunlight, their shapes shifting subtly as though breathing. Her eyes widened. She had never seen anything like it. Humans had explored planets before, but this was different. It felt alive, almost sentient. Leela crept closer, her heart beating fast. Every story she had ever read about alien worlds could not have prepared her for this. At the edge of the city, she saw a building that seemed almost like a palace, taller and more intricate than the others. Windows of transparent crystal reflected the sunlight, and at the top, she thought she saw movement. A figure, or maybe it was just the reflection of the trees. The curiosity that had driven her through countless adventures pulled her forward. She climbed the small hill leading to the entrance. Inside, the palace was unlike anything Leela had imagined. The walls glowed with a soft blue light, and delicate patterns shifted across the surfaces. Strange plants grew along the hallways, responding to her movement with gentle vibrations. It felt welcoming but also intimidating. She wandered further, drawn by a sense of wonder and awe, until she realized she had entered a room that seemed special. It was large and circular, with soft light pouring from above. In the center, there were objects she couldn't identify, strange but beautiful. Then she noticed a figure sitting on a throne at the far end of the room. The figure moved gracefully, and Leela's breath caught. She had stumbled into a room that belonged to someone important, someone very powerful. Suddenly, the doors behind her hissed closed. Leela spun around, panic rising. She was trapped. But before she could even think of what to do, a soft voice called from the other side of the room. "You are not supposed to be here." She was taller than any human, with skin that shimmered like polished silver and eyes that glowed with intelligence and authority. Leela's heart raced. She realized she had just walked into the queen of this alien civilization, the ruler of the city she had been exploring. I'm sorry," Leela stammered. "I didn't mean to." Outside the room, the human camp was in chaos. Marcus had realized his daughter was missing and had begun searching, sending drones into the forest. When the sensors picked up the massive energy readings coming from the city, Marcus felt his stomach drop. He had feared this, but seeing the readings confirmed his worst suspicion. Leela had found the alien city, and she was inside. Marcus didn't wait. He ordered the team to stay put, warning them not to interfere with the unknown alien civilization. He grabbed a communicator and tried to contact Leela. "Leela, stay calm, don't touch anything, wait for me." "You are brave," she said slowly, almost as if tasting the word. "But bravery without understanding is dangerous. I will not allow your recklessness to endanger my people. We are here to recover Leela safely, nothing more." "You have entered dangerous territory," the queen said. "Yet you did not harm anything. Perhaps there is something different about humans." He raised his hands to signal his team to hold position. Something was happening in the palace. The energy readings spiked, as if the city itself was aware of Leela's presence. He clenched his fists, realizing that the situation could escalate beyond anything humanity had faced before. Leela, sensing the tension, decided to take a small step forward. "I'm not dangerous," she said, her voice trembling slightly but firm. "I only want to learn, I want to be friends." For a long moment, silence filled the room. Then the queen spoke again, her voice firm but less angry. "You will not leave this place until I decide your fate." He could see the towering figure, glowing with authority, and the smaller girl beside her. He knew that this encounter could determine the future of human-alien relations on Violia. The forest seemed to hold its breath. Birds stopped singing. Leaves stopped rustling. The entire city seemed aware of the small human girl in the queen's chambers. And in that moment, Marcus understood something fundamental. Humanity had stepped into a world far larger than themselves, and every decision, every word, every action could echo across the galaxy. Inside the palace, the queen finally leaned forward, her gaze sharp. "Humans are curious, recklessly curious. You must understand that curiosity without caution can be disastrous. I will decide what comes next." How this would unfold, he did not know, but one thing was certain. Humans had a chance to prove themselves, and Leela had just taken the first step. The forest returned to its gentle hum, but the tension lingered. A single thought echoed through Marcus' mind: humanity was underestimated. And underestimated humans were often the most dangerous of all. The forest was quiet, almost too quiet. Marcus Hale could feel it in his bones as he crouched behind a thick tree trunk, his binoculars trained on the crystal city in the valley below. The energy readings were still off the charts. His heart pounded with a mixture of fear and determination. Leela was inside the queen's palace, facing a being whose power and presence far surpassed anything humans had encountered. Marcus knew this was no ordinary diplomatic incident. One wrong move, and humanity could lose more than just credibility, they could lose everything. He motioned to his team to stay put. "No sudden moves," he whispered. "We're not here to fight, we're here to get her back safely. Everything else, wait." Leela stood frozen, her hands clasped in front of her, yet her eyes were wide with all rather than fear. The queen's piercing gaze swept over the room, her attention sharp as a blade. Beside her, the young alien girl, her daughter, watched curiously. Leela felt the child's eyes on her, and in that small connection she found a flicker of comfort. "Humans are unpredictable," the queen said finally, her voice echoing through the chamber like distant thunder. "You do not belong here, yet somehow you have walked into my private quarters without causing harm. That is unusual. I didn't know this room belonged to you." Instead, she remembered the small translator device Marcus had given her for emergencies. She pressed a button, and the device activated, allowing her to speak directly to the queen's daughter in a language the child could understand. "I'm not here to hurt anyone," Leela said softly, the device translating her words. "I just want to be your friend. You are lucky, child, that your actions caused no harm." He couldn't allow anything reckless, not with the queen watching. He motioned to his team. "We wait, no interference, we observe, we prepare for extraction only if necessary. Humans are fragile yet oddly persistent. I will test you, your species, and your kind. Only then will you earn my trust. But do not underestimate the challenges they will face. This test is designed to reveal character, not merely skill." "You must follow me," the queen said, turning toward a large door at the back of the room. It slid open silently, revealing a corridor bathed in soft, blue light. The walls pulsed subtly, almost as if alive. Leela stepped forward hesitantly, the young alien girl beside her and the queen's guards flanking them. Marcus's eyes never left the corridor. He had no idea what awaited his daughter, but he trusted her courage. And more than that, he trusted the human spirit, curious, bold, and unyielding even in the face of beings far stronger and older than themselves. As they moved deeper into the palace, the corridor opened into a vast chamber filled with obstacles. Strange plants grew along the walls and floor, some shifting when touched. The air shimmered with energy, making every step feel uncertain. This was no ordinary room. It was a test chamber designed to challenge those who entered. The queen's voice echoed once more. "Retrieve the artifact at the center of this chamber. It is a symbol of trust and understanding. Only those who demonstrate courage, ingenuity, and compassion may claim it." The chamber was alive, almost breathing. Vines moved subtly, doors appeared and disappeared, and glowing creatures patrolled the space. The young alien girl gave her a small smile and a nod, silently signaling that she would help guide Leela through the dangers ahead. Marcus watched from outside as sensors and drones relayed the chamber's layout. The obstacles were complex, shifting constantly. He marveled at how alive the city was. This was not a trap. It was a lesson, a challenge that would test every strength humans possessed. Leela took a deep breath and stepped forward. Each movement had to be deliberate. Every decision could make the difference between success and failure. The chamber reacted to her presence, shifting walls and moving plants as if testing her patience and intellect. She remembered the lessons her father had taught her: observe first, act second. She noticed subtle patterns in the movements of the obstacles and began to navigate carefully. The young alien girl pointed out hidden passages, her curiosity and intelligence complementing Leela's human ingenuity. Hours seemed to pass as they moved through the chamber. Leela encountered challenges that required both quick thinking and empathy. At one point, a small creature trapped within the obstacles caught her attention. She freed it carefully, and the chamber responded by opening a previously hidden path. She realized that compassion and understanding were as crucial as courage and intellect. Meanwhile, Marcus monitored the progress from afar, feeling pride in his daughter. Humans had been underestimated for centuries, yet here was Leela, proving that curiosity combined with respect and intelligence could overcome the most formidable challenges. Finally, they reached the center of the chamber. A glowing artifact floated above a pedestal, pulsing with light. It radiated power and significance. Leela approached cautiously, sensing the weight of responsibility. She reached out and touched it, and the chamber's energy seemed to settle, as if acknowledging her success. The young alien girl clapped softly, a sound of admiration and joy. Leela turned to her and smiled. They had succeeded together. Back in the palace, the queen observed silently. She had watched every step, every decision, every act of courage and compassion. Humans were capable of more than she had expected. This small girl, fragile yet fearless, had proven a point. Humans were not reckless fools. They were bold, resourceful, and above all, capable of empathy. Marcus exhaled in relief, knowing that this was only the beginning. The test was complete, but the true challenge, earning trust and navigating the complexities of interspecies relations, was yet to come. Leela and the young alien girl returned to the throne room, artifact in hand. The queen's expression softened slightly, though her authority remained undeniable. "You have performed well," she said, her voice calm but firm. "You have shown that humans can think, act, and care. You may yet earn my trust. But remember, this is only the beginning. The universe is vast, and humans must prove themselves every step of the way." And yet she knew that this was only the first step toward understanding, cooperation, and perhaps friendship between species. Marcus finally allowed himself to relax. Humans had survived the first encounter, and in doing so, they had demonstrated the qualities that set them apart: curiosity, courage, ingenuity, and heart. He knew that, despite the dangers, humanity had a place in the galaxy. And perhaps with courage and understanding, they could bridge worlds that had once seemed impossible to connect. As the sun set over the forest of Violia, casting long shadows across the human camp, Marcus looked at the distant palace, feeling hope for the first time since they had arrived. Humanity had been tested, and they had survived. They had been underestimated, and yet they had proven themselves. The journey was far from over, but the first step had been taken, and it had been taken boldly. The queen watched from her throne, her mind alive with thoughts about these strange, persistent, and surprisingly capable humans. One thing was certain: the universe had underestimated humanity, and that was about to change. The next morning, sunlight filtered through the treetops of Violia, casting a golden glow on the human camp. Marcus Hale stood among his team, listening to the faint hum of alien energy from the city nearby. Leela had returned safely the previous evening, clutching the glowing artifact from the queen's chamber. But there was no time to celebrate. The queen had made it clear this was only the beginning. "She said we have potential," Leela said quietly, turning the small device in her hands. "But she also said humans must prove themselves. I think she wants more than just me doing something clever. And judging by what we saw yesterday, it won't be simple. Now you will demonstrate your worth in the greater challenge. Follow the path and prove that humans can work together and act with wisdom." Strange sounds filled the air, soft clicks, hums, and whispers that were not quite words. Leela walked beside Marcus, her eyes wide with wonder. Even after yesterday, she had not grown used to the beauty and strangeness of the alien world. After several minutes, the path ended at a massive structure partially hidden by glowing trees. Its walls were made of smooth, reflective surfaces that seemed to ripple as they moved. A wide doorway led into darkness, but soft light flickered from within. Marcus felt his heart beat faster. This was no ordinary building. It was alive in a way that humans could barely comprehend. Inside, the air was thick with energy. The chamber stretched wider than any building Marcus had ever seen. It was a labyrinth, filled with twisting corridors, shifting walls, and strange organic machinery that pulsed like a living heartbeat. The Queen's voice echoed again. Retrieve the crystal of harmony at the center of this labyrinth. Only those who show ingenuity, courage, and respect for life may succeed. Step carefully. The labyrinth will respond to your every move. We can do this, Dad. Marcus realized quickly that this was not a trap meant to kill. They were being tested for intelligence, creativity, and teamwork. Look at these walls, Marcus said, pointing to a section that seemed to move in rhythm with their steps. It's alive. Every choice we make affects the path. Leela noticed that certain plants glowed brighter when approached calmly and dimmed when touched roughly. She shared this observation with her father, who nodded. We'll move slowly and gently then, treat everything with respect. That seems to be part of the test. Marcus held out his hand, gently touching the surface. It pulsed under his fingers. It's sensing us, he said. We need to understand it, not force it. Let's do it. A corridor split into three, each path blocked by a different obstacle. One had a floor covered with glowing plants that seemed fragile. Another had walls moving in intricate patterns that could crush anything unprepared. The third path was dark, with faint sounds echoing from unseen creatures. Marcus studied each path. We have to think, he said. We can't just rush in. When the walls shifted dangerously behind them, Marcus held the team steady, showing calm under pressure. Every step, every decision required patience and teamwork. After what felt like hours, they reached the center of the labyrinth. A pedestal rose from the floor, and atop it floated the crystal of harmony, glowing with radiant light. It was beautiful, and it pulsed gently as if alive. Leela approached, but the crystal did not move toward her. Instead, the chamber seemed to test her again. A small creature trapped between shifting walls squeaked softly. Leela paused, considering whether to reach for the crystal or help the creature. Help it, Marcus whispered. That's what this is about. As she did, the crystal floated down into her hands, as if acknowledging her act of compassion. Marcus smiled. Humans were being measured not just for skill, but for character. The labyrinth shifted once more, opening a path that led to the exit. Marcus and Leela guided the team carefully, ensuring no one was harmed and that every obstacle was respected. It was a slow and deliberate journey, but they moved as one. When they emerged, the sunlight of Violia bathed them. The Queen awaited them outside, her towering presence still commanding and beautiful. Her glowing eyes scanned the team, finally resting on Leela, who held the crystal. You have succeeded, the Queen said. Her voice was softer now, tinged with approval. You have shown courage, intelligence, and respect. You have also demonstrated compassion. These are qualities rarely found together in one species. The universe is vast, full of challenges that will test every species. Humans have potential, yes, but potential without understanding is dangerous. You must learn, adapt, and work with others if you wish to survive and thrive. It was a gesture of friendship and trust. Leela smiled back. For the first time, she felt that humans and aliens could truly understand each other. Marcus approached the Queen cautiously. Thank you, he said, for giving us this chance. But remember, courage without wisdom can lead to disaster. Your species has been underestimated for too long. Show me that your potential is more than curiosity. It is responsibility, intelligence, and heart. You will be observed and more challenges will come. But know this, the universe has not forgotten humans. You are capable of greatness if you choose the right path. They were only beginning to understand the complexities of interstellar diplomacy, alien intelligence, and the potential of humans to rise above expectation. The forest of Violia seemed alive around them, humming softly as if celebrating their achievement. Marcus glanced at Leela and smiled. She had proven courage and ingenuity beyond her years. Humanity had taken its first real step into a wider galaxy, and they had done so with respect, intelligence, and heart. For the first time since arriving, Marcus felt something he hadn't felt before: hope. Humans had been underestimated for centuries, yet here they were, facing beings more advanced, more powerful, and more mysterious than themselves, and proving that human courage and ingenuity could hold their own. And in the distance, atop her throne, the queen watched silently, her thoughts filled with curiosity and consideration. She had underestimated humans, as many before her had. But after today, she knew something vital. Humans were not to be dismissed lightly. The following day, sunlight streamed over Vierlia's forest, glinting off the crystal towers of the alien city. The human camp had returned to a cautious rhythm. Marcus Hale watched his team organize equipment and prepare data logs, but his mind was still focused on the Queen's challenge. Yesterday's labyrinth had tested their intelligence, courage, and compassion, but Marcus knew that the Queen's assessment of humanity was far from complete. Leela sat beside her father, holding the crystal of harmony carefully in her hands. Its gentle pulse seemed to match her heartbeat. She felt proud but also nervous. The Queen had praised them, yet Marcus had reminded her that the real challenges were still ahead. "Dad," Leela said quietly, "do you think she will let humans live here peacefully if we pass every test? But if we show that humans are brave, clever, and respectful, she might see that we're worth trusting." Leela took a step forward, and the child ran to her, clasping her hands with excitement. The Queen's voice echoed, commanding and calm. "Marcus Hale, your species has demonstrated courage and intelligence. You have faced the labyrinth and succeeded. Now comes the final assessment. Your ability to adapt, cooperate, and lead will be tested. Only then will humanity's place in this system be considered secure. Do you understand?" Strange creatures moved through the terrain, observing without aggression. The Queen gestured for the humans to enter. Marcus led the way, Leela by his side. The rest of the team followed closely. Every step was measured. Marcus noticed the way the plants responded to their presence, subtly guiding or warning them. It was as if the entire world was watching, judging, and learning. The first obstacle appeared quickly. A bridge of glowing crystal stretched over a deep chasm. The edges pulsed with unstable energy, and below, currents of light swirled dangerously. Marcus examined it. "We'll need teamwork," he said. "Careful steps and everyone supporting each other. One mistake could leave someone trapped." "I'll test the path." Beyond the bridge, they entered a canyon filled with shifting platforms. Some platforms sank under weight, others floated unpredictably. The team had to coordinate every movement. Marcus shouted instructions, and Leela pointed out safe patterns she noticed. By combining observation, quick thinking, and careful timing, they navigated the canyon. During the canyon crossing, Leela spotted a creature trapped beneath a collapsed platform. Without hesitation, she signaled her father. Marcus and a teammate carefully lifted the platform, freeing the creature. It chirped gratefully and scuttled away, disappearing into the glowing foliage. The humans continued, and the Queen's daughter clapped softly at their compassion. "This is exactly what the Queen wants to see," Marcus whispered to Leela. "Ingenuity is important, but so is empathy. Never forget that." "We have to think," he said. "Observe the patterns, notice the symbols, and find the door that leads forward." Slowly, a door clicked open, revealing a passage to the next section of the arena. It was a victory earned through teamwork, observation, and patience, qualities the Queen valued highly. As they continued, a storm began to gather. The sky darkened with swirling clouds of energy, and strange wind currents swept through the terrain. Marcus felt the challenge escalate. The Queen had created conditions that tested not only skill and intelligence, but also endurance and decision-making under pressure. "Stay together," Marcus instructed. "Watch the wind patterns and move carefully." At one point, Marcus had to make a split-second decision to pull a teammate out of the path of a falling crystal shard. The team responded without hesitation, showing trust and coordination. Finally, they reached the center of the arena. A pedestal of radiant crystal rose from the ground, holding a second artifact. This one pulsed with more energy than the labyrinth crystal, its light filling the area. But before they could approach, the ground trembled. Floating creatures surrounded the pedestal, observing the humans with intelligent eyes. They did not attack, but their presence was a test of composure. Marcus gestured for calm. "We approach slowly, no sudden movements. Respect them and the artifact." The Queen appeared at the edge of the arena, her presence majestic and commanding. "You have succeeded where many others would fail," she said. "You have demonstrated intelligence, courage, teamwork, and compassion. You have earned respect not just for yourself, but for your species. Humans are underestimated, yet here you stand, proving that potential is more than power. It is heart, wisdom, and adaptability." Leela squeezed her hand back, understanding that trust could grow even in the most unlikely circumstances. The Queen spoke again, her tone softer, almost reflective. Humanity has shown promise, but promise alone is not enough. You must continue to act with respect, intelligence, and courage. The galaxy is vast, and only those who are capable of learning, adapting, and caring will thrive. She was smiling, her small hands holding the crystal carefully. "You did it," he said softly. "You've shown what humans can do." Yet here they were, proving their worth through ingenuity, courage, and heart. The forest around them seemed to hum with quiet approval, as if the planet itself recognized their achievement. Marcus knew this was only the beginning. The Queen's challenges had shown that humanity could rise above expectations, but the journey of understanding, diplomacy, and survival in this galaxy had only just begun. As they returned to their camp, Marcus felt a deep sense of pride. Humans had faced the Queen's tests, navigated the labyrinths and arena, and had proven that their greatest strengths lay not in brute force, but in intelligence, courage, empathy, and teamwork. And somewhere above the Crystal City, the Queen watched silently, her thoughts heavy with consideration. She had underestimated humans, as many before her had. But now she understood that humans possessed qualities that could not be measured by strength or speed alone. They had heart. They had ingenuity. They had the courage to face the unknown, and that made them extraordinary. The sun rose slowly over the forests of Violia, painting the sky in shades of gold and violet. The human camp was quiet but tense. Marcus Hale stood at the edge of the clearing, watching the city in the distance. Yesterday's trials had tested humans like never before, and they had passed. Yet the final decision rested with the Queen, and Marcus knew that earning her full trust would be another challenge entirely. Leela stood beside him, holding both crystals carefully in her hands. Her eyes were bright with excitement and anticipation. "Do you think she'll accept us, Dad?" she asked softly. Marcus smiled and ruffled her hair. "I think she already respects us, but acceptance is more than respect. It's about trust, understanding, and proving that humans can act wisely, even when the stakes are high." The Queen awaited at the path's end, her towering presence magnificent as ever. Marcus led his team into the light, feeling the weight of history pressing on him. The Queen's eyes glowed with authority and thoughtfulness as she regarded the humans. Her daughter, the young alien girl who had become Leela's friend, stood nearby, smiling faintly. "You have completed the trials," the Queen said. "You have shown courage, intelligence, compassion, and teamwork. You have proven that your species possesses qualities rare in the galaxy, but these qualities must be applied wisely. Humanity's journey is only beginning, and your actions will determine the course of future relations between our species. We want to learn and understand your people. We want to build trust and friendship." Respect from the Queen was monumental, but he knew better than to celebrate prematurely. The Queen continued, her voice ringing with authority and thoughtfulness. "Many civilizations underestimate humans. They see your species as weak, reckless, or limited. Yet your curiosity, adaptability, and determination have proven otherwise. You are capable of learning, growing, and acting with compassion, even when faced with challenges far beyond your understanding. This is why humans are both unpredictable and extraordinary." They had done what many thought impossible. They had proven themselves to a species far older and wiser than humans. The Queen gestured for the humans to follow her into the city. They walked together through corridors of glowing crystal and shifting light. Everywhere they went, the city responded subtly to their presence. Plants bent gently as if in greeting, pathways opened before them, and creatures of the city observed with quiet curiosity. Leela's small hand found the Queen's daughter, S, and the two shared a smile. It was a simple connection, but it carried immense significance. Trust had begun to take root between species. Finally, they arrived at a grand hall, the largest Marcus had ever seen. Light flowed from the walls, reflecting off crystal floors in a kaleidoscope of color. The Queen's throne sat at the far end, her figure illuminated by the gentle glow. She gestured for the humans to stand before her. "I have observed your actions," the Queen said. "You have faced trials that tested every strength of your species, intellect, courage, empathy, and collaboration. And you have succeeded. For this, I grant humanity recognition among the peoples of this system. We will continue to learn, and we will always act with respect. Humanity is ready to share knowledge, friendship, and cooperation. Courage without wisdom can lead to destruction. Curiosity without empathy can bring ruin. You have shown that humans are capable of greatness, but the path ahead requires careful choices. You too have shown understanding. You have bridged the gap between species, demonstrating that trust and friendship are possible. This is a lesson for all of us. The queen stepped forward and raised her hand. A wave of gentle energy flowed across the hall. The humans felt it warm and reassuring. Let this be a symbol, she said. A symbol of trust, cooperation, and shared potential. Humans have earned their place here. Let this alliance mark a new chapter in interstellar relations. Humans, underestimated for centuries, had achieved something remarkable. They had proven that their greatest strength was not brute force or dominance, but intelligence, courage, compassion, and the ability to work together. The queen gestured to the humans. You may explore, learn, and live here among us. But remember, the galaxy is vast and full of challenges. Your species will be tested again, in time and in ways that you cannot yet imagine. But for now, humanity has shown that it is capable of greatness. They had faced incredible trials, navigated challenges beyond imagination, and emerged victorious, not through power alone, but through qualities that defined humanity. As they walked back through the city, the streets seemed to hum with energy. The citizens observed quietly, curious and respectful, witnessing the first steps of humanity's recognition. Leela noticed small creatures moving aside, almost as if acknowledging her presence, and she smiled. Marcus glanced at the city's towers, shimmering under the sunlight. We did it, Leela, he said softly. Humanity has earned a place here, and this is only the beginning. We'll show them what humans can do. It was a scene of wonder and hope, a testament to what humans could achieve when their intelligence, courage, and heart were combined. Later, in the grand hall, the queen addressed the humans once more. Remember this, the galaxy is not conquered by strength alone. It is advanced by wisdom, compassion, and understanding. Humans have shown these qualities today. The universe has underestimated you, but that mistake will not be repeated. You have proven yourselves worthy, not because of force, but because of your mind and spirit. They had faced a powerful civilization, navigated impossible challenges, and earned respect through their actions. Leela turned to her father. Dad, do you think they'll trust humans fully one day? That is something no one can underestimate anymore. As the sun set over Violia, Marcus looked out over the city and the forest beyond. Humanity had been underestimated, dismissed, and even feared. Yet they had risen to the challenge, proving that courage, intelligence, compassion, and collaboration were more powerful than brute force. They had earned a place in a world far larger and more complex than they had imagined. For the first time, Marcus felt the weight of hope fully settle in his chest. Humans had proven themselves not just to the Queen, but to the galaxy. They had shown that even in the face of the unknown, even when underestimated, humanity's spirit could shine brilliantly. The Queen observed from her throne, her eyes reflecting the glow of the setting sun. She had underestimated humans as so many before had, but now she knew their true power. Not strength, not speed, not numbers, but courage, ingenuity, empathy, and the willingness to act wisely in the face of the impossible. And so, humanity had earned a place in the stars. The galaxy would remember this moment, not for war, not for conquest, but for the human spirit shining brightly, proving that even the smallest and most underestimated species could rise above expectation, forge trust, and take its rightful place among the universe's many wonders. Marcus squeezed Leela's hand gently. This is only the beginning, he said. Leela smiled, the crystals pulsing softly in her hands. Then let's make it a good beginning.